welcome everybody. We are going to be reclaiming our personal power, our personal creative power that is also connected to all the creative energy in the universe, divine and humanly manifested. Sometimes it's manifested in other life forms, but that's a whole nother conversation. But we're connected to all of it. And so that belief that is kind of a big hurdle of being really plugged in and connected to everything for real is one of the beliefs that we're going to be reinforcing, and we're going to be letting go of any limiting beliefs that keep us from connecting to that source of power, that source of creativity, and that creative energy that we can all access. So we'll be working on that belief, and then a lot of other ones that get in the way of using our divine power in this physical realm. So we are spiritual beings having an experience inside this body. And so in order to create in the world, it starts in the non-physical, right? Any ideas we have, any sort of plans that we want to make manifest in the physical always start in the non-physical first, in the realm of imagination or inspiration. And we want to bring that into physical form, which requires mind, body, and spirit working together. So we are spiritual beings, but we are also fully physical beings. And so finding that marriage, that cooperation between our spiritual selves and our physical selves is a good way to, talk about what this is all about. So that's the reason that all these practices are going to have a mental component, a physical component. We're going to be moving our bodies, and then the spirit comes in with the permission protocols that we use. So we get our higher self on board. We always set the intention to align with the highest and best good of all involved, and align with that divine energy of creation. There are, we won't talk a whole lot about it, but it's true that there are, dark things in this world. We live in a dualistic place. And so, the darkness can influence and can influence our creations, and our intention is to always connect with the highest vibration possible and the highest intentions for our own lives and for all of the lives that we touch. So we're going to be using some mind, body, spirit techniques. We're going to talk a little bit about the ideas and the beliefs, but then we're going to, most Westerners stay in this mental space, and our bodies, our subconscious very much resides in our bodies. And that's one of the reasons that we're so disconnected from our subconscious, and even knowing what's in there is that our minds and our bodies are not connected for the most part. And we're kind of going about life from this intellectual mental space, which is an important component, but it's not everything. It's not a complete way of living and moving efficiently in the world. So we're going to be doing some limit clearing processes. We've got some belief statements lined up. I'm Christina, and this is Peter.
Hi.
And I'm so excited to have Brenda and Brandy joining us. Both of these ladies have been doing some energy psychology and experienced some various things. And as we record these lessons or guides for doing these limit clearing processes, we'll be having probably some different, hopefully Brenda will be with us every week, and then we'll have different folks popping in and out that have you've been using energy psychology with me and with other practitioners. So we like to get together and do these practices together, and also talk about the experience of it and how it's affecting our lives, because it's You know, a lot of these beliefs are not the things that we were raised with. They're sometimes totally opposite from the things that the ideas and the beliefs that we were told were absolutely true. And so it's good to get together with other folks who are exploring these and bringing these ideas down into our beings and using these ideas in our creative process in the world, so that, you know, it's kind of, can be a freaky experience sometimes. Some of the effects of it, the way the resistance will sometimes creep up in, you know, when we're doing this work, that's something that's good to talk about and share. So I like to record with live actual people who are doing these processes so that everybody can share. Peter's been doing this work
12, 13 years.
Yeah, the energy psychology part of it. We started with yoga and meditation, well, a long time ago. Yeah, he came to his first yoga class with me when we started dating, and I had been really grateful for finding these practices to help with physical issues that I was having. And then when we learned about energy psychology, it was just like another layer to these practices to help get the energy moving and clear out the stuff that's limiting us. So that's just a tiny little bit of history for us, but we'll share along the way some of the different things that we've experienced from using this work. And I want you guys to definitely feel free sharing what your experiences are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because it's not always peaches and cream. It's, you know, this is deep work. And so going into the shadow, you know, is not always sunshine and rainbows. And that's just part of healing and part of clearing out these limits. So, yeah, so we're going to all do this together. Definitely ask questions along the way. If you're watching the replay, write in your questions, send me an email, you know, respond to what you can just respond to one of the emails that come out with the belief statements, and, you know, let me know what's going on so that I can help you. There might be an extra belief statement that you need to do to like get over a hump, get over some resistance. You know, there's a lot of different possibilities of what could be happening. And so even if it doesn't seem related, you know, if you're experiencing a lot of stuff happening in your life that's keeping you from doing your work and doing these practices, that is something to pay attention to too. So, you know, let me know what's happening. And then sometimes I can see connections of like, oh, could this be related to, you know, some earlier trauma or some earlier something. And, you know, that's why we do this work with other people, because sometimes we can see connections for other people that they're not able to see when they're, you know, in the middle of it. So, yeah. Do you guys have any questions to start with? I'll just go ahead and open up the floor. Is there anything you want to say? Because I'm going to grab my statements.
So many things. I mean, I could go on for a long time. But
we're doing okay on time so far.
Yeah. But basically about, you know, this kind of work, it does seem to take a long time. Like we said, we've been doing it for, you know, 17 years or so, but we've got a whole lifetime of, you know, experiences that we're trying to, you know, negative and some positive that we're trying to clear out, that, you know, that you're trying to free yourself from all these limiting ideas and beliefs that have been ingrained over your entire life and multiple lifetimes. So, you know, what I believe, and it takes a lot of dedication and courage to face a lot of this stuff and be willing to look at this, you know, the parts of yourself that you're in denial about, you know, really, or have repressed and suppressed, and those emotions and thoughts and feelings that, you know, don't feel good, the ones you're hiding from, you know, you got to bring those up and clear them out. And that's what this work is about. Because once you do, the more you do, the more your life will open up and grow, and at some point it just kind of explodes.
In a good way.
Yeah. So
your
cup runneth over.
Well, and the freedom. So I think it's interesting. It's another paradox that, this is work you can do your whole lifetime, but it does bring quick results. So it doesn't take a long time to experience results. Right. But there's always more work to do. Yeah. We're always, as long as we have a body, we've got some kind of limit. That's just, and so, that's why it's so great to find mentors, who are older, who've been doing, we have some great mentors who've been doing this work way longer than us. And, thank God for them to, help us see through, some of the tough times to be able to love ourselves through looking into that shadow.
Yeah. And over the years, different modalities of, we do psych-k a lot, and Christina has level up balances and things like that.
There's lots of different energy psychology.
Yeah, there's different modalities that might come to you, and I suggest you just do what feels right in your heart, because at different times, different things have worked for us. Like when psych-k isn't enough, there's a different kind of modality that might work, that for a particular belief or subconscious belief that, is hidden. It may even be hidden from your consciousness, because there's just so much subconscious stuff out there within your own psyche that really rules your life, so it's, go ahead. So I'll say, like, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So that
same thing with the modality appears. Yeah. Right. So a lot of this work is about getting in touch with our inner guidance. So I talk a lot about that and that. So if you're going to do one thing or have one goal in life, it's getting in touch with that inner guidance. It's going to show you every step along the way where you need to go, what book you need to read, what, video you need to listen to, what modality you need to give a try. It's everybody's path is unique, of course. And so, when the tools show up, and especially, I have always in the past had a lot of doubts about, like, am I hearing my inner wisdom? I'm not sure. What's that? Because there's a lot of chatter that goes on. So there's a process of discerning and kind of filtering all of the noise to kind of realize, like, okay, yeah, this is something that if it comes up for me 3 times, a lot of times if I'm not unsure the first 2 times, I'll wait for that magic number 3 of, like, okay, I hear the message. Thank you. I hear it. We're gonna give it a try. Whatever it is, your guidance will show you the way. Now, we've been disconnected from that inner guidance. We've been told, no, you need to do this, and you need to have this job, and you need to go to school, and you need to, all these things that people think that society thinks they're supposed to do. And so part of reclaiming our power, a huge part of reclaiming our power, is reclaiming that connection to our inner guidance, and our higher self, that larger expanded perspective that can see all the steps ahead. And, it's not that it's all predetermined or anything, but there is a certain direction that your soul wants to go. And so finding that, is a challenge. Do you have something, Brandy? Yes. I don't know.
Sorry, I hope it's okay to interject. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
So what you're saying is, like, so ringing true to me, because I've known, like, over the last couple weeks, you really need to clear some limiting beliefs. Like, it just came to me last night on Facebook. I saw somebody share a video, and I clicked on it, and it was about clearing limiting beliefs. And then I went to my email 2 minutes before noon and got your email, and then immediately logged in. So that is
lovely.
The universe at play for me, for real.
Awesome. Yeah. And sometimes when we don't listen to the guidance, then, like, things will just like show up and line up in that way. I love that example because it's happened to us so many times, you know, and sometimes you'll be stopped from doing something else and you're like, why did that get canceled? You know, and you're like mad at the person for canceling. And then somebody texts you and it's like, oh, it's because I'm supposed to be here doing this thing with this person. And yeah.
That's what happened. My meeting got canceled and I saw your email.
Awesome. So yeah, so listen to all those signs. You know, our inner guidance can speak to us through our, you know, external reality. So I see Peggy's on. I just want to say hey to Peggy Jean.
Hey, Peggy.
You're right.
Hi.
I'm glad you're here. We're about to do our first balance in just a minute. And we have been talking for a while. So now we probably need to get started doing a balance.
Yeah, we're going to get into it.
Yeah. But you guys definitely, if you have questions, absolutely, you know, interject and let us know. Hopefully everybody has a space. Our first balance is lying down on the floor with your legs either up a wall. You can do it in front of a door. That's usually a good space because there's nothing on the floor, no clutter. You can just close the door and put your legs up the wall on the door. Peter's going to be doing it here on the sofa, and I'll just kind of give a little bit of a modification. Sometimes it's hard for us to get our legs totally straight. A lot of people have really tight, you know, muscles and stuff. So you don't have to be, you know, the goal is to be in the shape of an L laying on the floor with your legs up the wall. But I'd say 95% of people, you know, will have their knees bent slightly and maybe even, you know, have your legs kind of out more like this. The main thing is to be able to relax. So if you need to bend your knees in order to relax more, absolutely do that. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate the position with Peter, and y'all can just watch, and then replay people can pause the video and get into position, and we'll let everybody live get into position before we start the balance. So let me just show you kind of what we're going for, and then we'll pause and let everybody get into position. So one of the easiest ways to do this pose is to kind of sit beside the wall that you're gonna, and I was gonna say, you can do this on a bed or on the sofa if you have a hard time getting up and down from the floor. You know, whether that's a temporary issue or it's something that you just are not able to get up and down off the floor.
You want me to do it up here?
No, because I think your head will fall off.
Yeah.
But if you have a longer sofa where you can relax your head, and then, or on the bed, you can lie on the bed and just, you know, scoot your bottom around. But you're going to want to start just kind of with your one side next to the wall, like Peter is already. And then you can just kind of pivot yourself. So he's going to put his legs up. I'm going to get a pillow for you.
Okay.
I just want to make sure we're. So if you have really tight hamstrings, you can have your legs up like this, just flat on the couch. But if you can get them more upright, that's ideal. So bring the hands up, you know, into where the palms face each other at times during the balance. And then you'll also have times where you want to have your arms down by the sides, and you want to really concentrate on, you know, relaxing, opening the chest and relaxing the shoulders back to the floor. So to really try to lengthen the back of the neck, and then open the heart space and kind of tuck the shoulder blades up underneath you so that you're really relaxing back on the floor. And then palms face the ceiling when you have your hands in this position. And then when we do the balance, so we'll say the statement while you're lying here for a little bit, or you're going to say it silently to yourself just a few times before we start moving around. This is one of our more relaxed and less moving around kind of limit clearing processes. But we will move just a little bit, and what we'll do is just take this leg and bring it across your knee here. Well, like, okay, so you can do it like this. You can just cross over. But for this one, if you can bring it like this, y'all can see that. Then what you're gonna do, let's see, opposite hand, you're gonna grab this knee if you can. If you're if you have a hard time with that and you just have to keep that there, you just want to bring the hand across the midline of the body. And then I'm getting turned around. And then turn your head. You're going to twist that way?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll turn your head. Yeah, and then this arm goes above the head. Can't really see that on the thing.
Okay.
There it is. So as high up as you can get. If you have real tight shoulders, you know, you might not be able to get your arm straight up, but that's okay. Just bring it up and do that twist there. And then you'll say the statement a few times and keep your head relaxed. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep your head down and relax. So
what am I twisting here?
What are you twisting?
Yeah, what is supposed to be twisting?
Whatever will twist.
Oh.
So if your spine is really tight, there might be certain areas that don't like to twist, and that's okay. Just relax that area and turn in whatever way that you can. The important part is that you're crossing the midline of the body. Also for this one, that you're relaxing, breathing. So here you'll say the statement, inhale, say the statement out loud, finish the exhale. Inhale, say the statement out loud, finish the exhale. So we'll do that 3 times on this side, and then we'll switch sides. All right, so just show the other side real quick. So that's what it looks like, and you'll say the statement 3 times on this side, out loud with the breath. The breath is an important part of these processes. And then once you're done, you'll come back to the center. And we'll just bring the palms to face each other. So you can have your hands all the way together, or you can just have the fingertips touching. You just want to have the hands there in the middle. And then relax, and we'll say the statement a few more times in this position. Okay. The statement is, it's okay to stop trying so hard. So it's a pretty short one, so you just want to kind of get it in your head. We'll say it together. I'll say it out loud for you once you get into position and lead you through the balance. So if you're watching the replay, you can pause and get yourself into position, and then press play once you're ready and in your position. Okay, so it's okay to stop trying so hard. You can just close your eyes. Try to relax your legs. Just let them rest against the wall. Relax your hips. Relax the chest and the back, the belly. And then again, just let the shoulders fall back onto the floor. Lengthen the back of the neck. And let the head be heavy on the floor. Okay. So just say the statement a few more times if you haven't been saying it. Silently to yourself, it's okay to stop trying so hard.
Do you say it out loud or say it?
You can say it out loud at this point if you want, but silently is just fine.
It's okay to stop trying so. It's okay to stop trying so hard. It's okay to stop trying.
Say it a few more times. Really let this statement seep into every cell of the body. Okay, so now I think we're ready to do the out loud portion of the balance. So it doesn't matter which side you start with. You're just going to pick a leg and bring it across. And then the opposite hand goes. So if it's the left leg, it'll be the right hand, right leg, and left hand. And then the other hand goes up above the head and twist the spine just a little bit. So yeah, you can use the weight of the hand to pull that leg that way, and then turn and look. And now you're going to inhale. Say your statement out loud. It's okay to stop trying so hard. Finish your exhale before you inhale again.
It's okay. Stop trying so hard.
Good. Complete that exhale. Big inhale.
It's okay to stop trying so hard.
Awesome. So just slowly untwist and then make your way to the other side.
It's okay to stop trying so hard.
Remember to take a big breath before you start. There you go.
It's okay to stop trying so hard.
And for this one, you want to have your eyes open and you're looking, over toward that hand. There you go.
It's okay to stop trying so hard.
A couple more times.
It's okay to stop trying so hard.
Good.
It's okay to stop trying so hard.
Awesome. All right, so slowly untwist and then bring the hands, the fingertips together. Palms just need to face each other. Hands are meeting in the middle there. And then relax your legs, close your eyes, and say that statement a few more times. Breathing deeply. All right, so if you feel like you're not done with this statement, I'm going to invite you to continue. Replay people can continue. Live people can revisit later today. But we're just going to go ahead. I'm going to muscle test, that we're good enough. We've done enough that it's safe to move on to the next limit clearing process.
Okay.
But if you ever feel like that you need more time with the statement, it's absolutely appropriate and can be helpful, to stay there longer, saying the statement over and over and allowing the process to work. We don't have to do too many repetitions. You don't have to say it every day for the rest of your life.
Can we sit up now?
You may sit up. But what you want to do is roll to one side or the other and come up slowly, especially if you've had your feet totally upright. Just roll to your side first and then slowly make your way back. Upright. Okay. Does anybody have anything they want to share about the process? Any memories that bubbled up?
It's in divine timing. You already know, Christina.
Yeah. And every time I revisit this material and make updates to the course, it's always in divine timing for me when I come to this first one and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta get another layer of that. There's always a little bit more to look at.
Deeper level.
Yeah, because I keep working on myself, doing psych-k sessions with you. Every time it's a huge improvement. And I release a lot of stuff, a lot of energy, like last night, crying the whole time. And today also I was still releasing stuff for, it was an intense work on myself. So it's like today I was still trying so hard and it's like, oh, it's okay to stop trying so hard, finally. So divine timing.
Yes. Yay. And so that's the last part of this process, is to celebrate the change. So we are going to all do a happy dance for whatever we were able to clear today around this topic, right? There's so many limiting beliefs that we can have about, you know, how important it is to be always productive and working so hard. And, you know, we can go on and on about that. So we always are going to celebrate the change. And that is, our son has severe autism, and we've done the Sunrise program with him. And that is something we learned in the Sunrise program, is celebrating every millimeter of progress is so important. Not just, you know, for the obvious reasons, but it's a neurological thing. This is part of really solidifying the neurological changes that we're making. We're making physical changes in our brain. They've measured it with EEGs, you know, after energy psychology processes. The hemispheres are communicating better. And so, you know, the celebration really helps to reinforce that. So hooray, hooray for divine timing and for letting go of trying so hard. Brandy or Peggy, do y'all have anything you want to share before we move on?
I did have a couple of just, I guess, memories flash back while we were doing that. And it was surprising because I was thinking more along the lines of work, but the first thing that popped up was with my daughter. So that was kind of surprising.
Yes, it can show up in unexpected ways, for sure. And, you know, and it does just show us that it's all connected, right? You know, our trying and striving, you know, is not in one category of life. So yay. I'm so glad that you shared that, because that happens a lot when we're doing this work. Is, you know, we hear the statement and we think, oh, this is going to be about this person I need to forgive, or this, you know, whatever the thing is. And, you know, often once we get into the process, that's why it's so important not just to read the statements and say the statements, and it's important to do the practices, because that's when things are revealed.
And one thing I'd like to say is, you know, as you do this type of work, you know, we're taught our whole lives how hard you have to work and how much you have to try to get everything done. But really the truth is, you do have to do the work. There is work to be done but it's more about allowing, you know, the things that you want in your life, allowing those to come in, because the more you try, sometimes the more you try, the further it seems to get away from you. I know everybody's experienced that. The more you try to grab onto something, the harder you try to hold on to something, the further it moves away from you. But when you relax and let go and stop trying so hard, sometimes it just happens, you know, miraculously. And so that's what we're practicing here, is learning how to let go more and allow things to manifest, versus, you know, trying so hard and stressing ourselves out, you know, just trying to make our lives the way we want them to be.
So we'll talk a lot about masculine and feminine energies of creation, you know, as we go through this, and because they are primary energies of creation, and that we are, in our society, we have been very much in an imbalanced place of being in the masculine, which is action, right? Do, produce, you know, and in an imbalanced way. It's that you can do it. The masculine can do that in a balanced way, but it's in a, you know, way out of balance. And then the feminine energy of holding space, allowing, you know, patiently being open and receiving. The receiving energy is the feminine energy. With that energy has been devalued and suppressed in so many ways. And so a lot of this work, when we get the hemispheres, you know, connecting with each other, left and right side, that's the masculine and the feminine finally balancing and working together. And so, you know, action and work is absolutely a part of creation, but being still, you know, and holding space and being receptive, opening to that receptive energy is just as important. You know, if it's missing, then the creations are so imbalanced. And so, you know, that's part of why doing the practices, not just saying the statements as a affirmation, but actually doing the practices, is bringing the body, which is the masculine is represented by the mental, and then the feminine is represented by the body. And so that's bringing the body, and that the stillness is important. You know, getting still enough to allow those things to bubble up, right? You know, for Brandy, she had to get into this thing and go through the motions. And then it was like, it's almost like, you know, we kind of, as we stretch and as we move our bodies, it like releases something that allows this thing to come forth and come into our consciousness. So we're, like Jung says, we're making the subconscious conscious as we do the work. Yeah, come on.
I just want to say, I was going to say exactly what Peter said. So I just want to say yes to him. But I have realized that the more I force something, like for me, you know, to stop trying so hard right now, for me, it's more about not trying to push things to be. And the more I let go, the easier things flow. And I'm noticing that. So
Absolutely.
Yes. Yay. I want to celebrate that with
Yay.
you, Peggy, because I know that you've had so much to deal with in this last year and a half. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Awesome.
All right. So we're done with our first limit clearing process. We've done a lot of talking about, you know, some of the different things involved, and which is good for the first time. I think our subsequent videos will not be quite so long. We'll just kind of get straight to the practice and then just sprinkle in some of these things we've been talking about.
Nuggets of wisdom.
Well, and just, you know, things to look out for, right? Like, you know, how can resistance show up? How, you know, all these things that this is kind of a, like I said, a freaky experience, especially when we first start doing this work. And so we will talk a little bit about those things each time we do a limit clearing process together. But yeah, today we kind of covered a lot of introductory ground. So we will say goodbye for the first limit clearing practice, and you'll get an email tomorrow with limit clearing practice number 2. All right.
Bye, everybody. We love you.
That's right.
Bye-bye.